Hi viewers, and it is day 9, and the idea is for a startup that helps companies hire entry-level engineers by arming them with a set of pre-screening questions that help them identify potential candidates. My name is Roy and I'm a web designer from the UK. Hope you're enjoying the content. Please leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe, and let's get into the video. Sometimes I like to start it off a bit different. This time I'm trying to get the copy in and trying to make the copy short but also descriptive enough so that the user understands what they're getting into. And I think this is quite a good trend for hiring people at the moment. There's a lot of questions on hiring someone, no matter what industry, but having if you've never done this before or hired someone, then what is a good baseline to have, or what type of questions to ask? So this startup is aimed at that, and we are providing you with these questions. So I thought, yeah, let me change the flow a bit. Usually I go into Unsplash and find images. This time I decided, let me just build out the main elements on the page. And because I've been doing this now, I think this is day 9, I've been doing this for a while, and I'm starting to build components now. And there's the awesome, there's things like auto layout and variants now in Figma, which is really cool. So I'll probably get into that in another time. But now I went into Unsplash, and I felt really lucky because I just typed in entry-level engineers, and there's a really good there's just so many good images. They don't feel like your typical image or stock photography. So I just went through these, and I'm keeping an eye on the visual timer, the Pomo timer, just to make sure I don't go absolutely crazy in this. I'll try to spend maybe 5 to 10 minutes. Now I just drag them all in, which is a lot quicker. I used to just do it one at a time. And just a little tip for if you're a beginner, when you're doing text, try to make sure that if it's a paragraph, like the second paragraph, try to make sure that you don't have one word at the end, which in typography we call it an orphan or a widow. You got to try and make the measure, which is the number of characters on the line, try and make it the same width if you can. So for example, you might have one long sentence, and the first line is very long, and then the second line is only one word. It's not very balanced. So that's one thing, one tip I'd give for simple typography. Headings, it can be a bit different, but like for example, hire good entry level, and then engineers right at the end. If that was on its own, then it would be imbalanced. Anyway, so I think what I'm doing now, I'm just changing up a bit. I'm just putting in different layouts, experimenting, exploring. And in reality, how I work, I tend to just try out different things. You don't go with one concept, and sometimes you present it to the client and show, here's an iteration, here's another version, this is my thinking. And you can see I'm trying out different things. Usually you don't have the form on the right because you read from left to right, but hey, this is a time to play around. And again, I'm just putting different images, and these images are really strong. They're highlighting the person, and the poses and everything is just really, really good. So yeah, it's just amazing. Yeah. And from there, again, I'm just playing with layout, playing with shapes. And now what I'm thinking is, why don't I combine some of the people, maybe 2 or 3, but I thought maybe that's too many. So what I started doing is just playing around again. It's just experimenting. A lot like doodling in sketches, you'll end up finding something by accident. And I think when you have the foundation in, you then have time to explore and play around. I think those are the good times. and there's always a baseline that you have. The nav is always a usual pattern, and the form is always on the left. And now I think because of Netflix, where you got those really long tall images, I just thought, hey, why don't I split the image, not show the whole image of one person and split it and have a female and a male. And I thought that worked out pretty well. So again, I think you can never have perfection in design. It's very subjective, but what you're exposed to, eventually you're going to end up using it in a way. So here I'm just playing around with buttons, but I felt that was a bit too big. And again, just positioning them, and I thought, yeah, we don't have to have them exactly the same position. You could just play around with, one is higher than the other, so a bit of movement. I thought, okay, let me try and put in a third person, but I felt that might be too much, and the image of the third person it's not consistent with the other two, I felt. So I thought, okay, let me try this other lady. But yeah, I think that is the end of the video. So again, thanks for watching. I hope you find it useful. If you have any questions, leave a comment and leave a like, subscribe. Have a good morning, afternoon, evening.